Welcome back to the channel. My name is Miguel. There's something interesting happening over at Wish Do It Watches, a brand that for years has been known for leaning heavily into avant-garde shapes, bold colors, and unconventional case geometries. The watch that we're featuring today leans more into traditional territory. This newest release feels more grounded, more classic, while still retaining enough personality to stand out. And today we're taking a look at one of those pieces, the Aqua Bold Dive Watch. On paper, this watch checks a lot of boxes. In fact, you could argue it hits those Goldilocks specs. Nothing too big, nothing too small, and priced at under $200. That alone will make a lot of enthusiasts perk up. But the real question is it actually any good? And the answer for the most part is yes, but with some very real room for improvement. Let's start with the design because this is where Wish Do It has taken the biggest step forward. The Aqua Bold is in many ways their most restrained watch to date. The case offers a modern dive watch silhouette, but with vintage influences sprinkled throughout. Most notably, there are no crown guards, an aesthetic choice we don't see often enough anymore. It immediately harkens back to the early days of dive watch design, when simplicity and serviceability took precedence over aggressive tool watch posture. The 6.4mm sign crown is easy to operate and it has that reassuring grip you want from a dive watch. The entire watch is constructed of 316L stainless steel, and the measurements, like I said earlier, hit that sweet spot range that so many enthusiasts look for today. The case comes in at 39mm, it's 42mm from lug to lug, 12mm thick, and in between the lugs is 20mm. And here's where the biggest surprise came for me, the way it wears on my 6 and 7/8 inch wrist. All the previous watches from the brand have sometimes felt visually loud or physically oversized, but this one is different. The proportions feel dialed in, the case hugs the wrist nicely, and the taper of the bracelet reinforces that comfort. This is easily the best wearing Wish Do It I've tried so far, and the watch with the unsized bracelet does weigh in at 147 grams. Now let's talk about that dial because that is the star of the show. The carbon fiber texture gives the watch a sports tech aesthetic without crossing into gimmicky territory. It captures the light beautifully, creating a subtle wave pattern that rewards you. Every time you glance down, the dial does remain clean and highly legible, which isn't always a given when brands try to dress up a diver. Wish Do It also makes this watch in a blue version, and if the carbon fiber texture pops as well on that model as it does here, it might be the most visually striking of the two. However, once the macro lens comes out, the flaws start to reveal themselves. The upright numerals, while bold and attractive from a normal viewing distance, do show signs of inconsistent finishing. The edges are not as crisp and the polishing isn't as refined as it could be. Another issue is the lume on the surface. It seems promising. The bezel is fully lume and looks fantastic, glowing evenly with a cool tone that's undeniably fun, but on the numerals and indices, some lume appears to be missing. It's subtle, but it's noticeable, and it's a clear quality control issue. It doesn't ruin the watch, but it's something Wish Do It needs to tighten up if they want to truly compete in the sub $200 dive watch category. The bezel, though, is a pleasant surprise. It's a 120 click unidirectional bezel, and the action is very smooth, much smoother than I expected at this price point. There is a bit of backplay, which isn't ideal, but overall the tactile feel is reassuring. Again, this points to Wish Do It making real progress in areas where enthusiasts tend to be critical. Flip the watch over and you'll find a nicely decorated case back. It's not over the top, it feels intentional and tastefully executed. At this price point, most brands don't even decorate the case back, so it's refreshing to see something with thought behind it. The bracelet is another highlight. It's well constructed, the brush finishing is clean, and it tapers nicely towards the clasp. Something divers in this price category often fail to do. The taper makes a big difference in comfort and the overall flow of the watch on the wrist. The clasp does feature several micro adjustment holes, which is always appreciated. That said, an on-the-fly toolless adjustment system would have elevated the bracelet dramatically. Once you experience one of those systems, it's hard to go back. Still, for the price, this bracelet does more right than wrong. Another win, the 20mm lug width. This opens up the watch to endless strap options, from FKM rubber to Trapex straps to leather if you're feeling rebellious. But for someone like me who reviews a ton of straps, that standard lug width is always a welcome sight. Inside the watch beats the Seiko NH35 movement, a caliber that needs no introduction. It's not glamorous, but it's reliable, repairable, and proven. Enthusiasts know exactly what they're getting, and that familiarity is a big part of what keeps the NH35 so widely used in microbrand divers. Its inclusion here makes the AquaBolt accessible both in cost and long-term serviceability. So what does all this add up to? Well, it adds up to a watch that signals Wish Do It is heading in the right direction. They're moving away from purely avant-garde novelty pieces and leaning into watches that enthusiasts would genuinely consider watches that feel grounded, wearable, and thoughtfully designed, but they're not quite there yet. The finishing on the numerals and the inconsistent lume application are real issues, especially when you're competing against brands that have QC dialed in at this exact price point. But here's the thing. Those flaws don't overshadow what Wish Do It has accomplished here. This is a sub $200 dive watch with a distinctive carbon fiber dial, a comfortable bracelet, reliable movement, 150 meters of water resistance, sapphire crystal, and wearable dimensions. So if you're looking for a diver with a cool aesthetic twist, something that stands out without being loud, and something that won't break the bank, the AquaBolt is absolutely worth considering. It's not perfect, but it's promising, and for a brand evolving as quickly as Wish Do It, that's worth paying attention to. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, be safe out there and stay humble.